To call the meeting to order. It's a little past 6. So we would like to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I would ask Mr. Roger Williams if he would mind leading us in the pledge. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Ms. Flatt, are you ready to call the roll?
Honorable Mayor Fowler.
Here.
Honorable Vice Mayor Norris.
Present.
Honorable Councilman Bilbrey.
Present.
Honorable Councilman Hill.
Present.
Honorable Councilwoman Hawkins.
Present.
The next item would be to consider the agenda and the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look over tonight's agenda? Everybody had a chance?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it. Mrs. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris.
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
All right, now I'll ask if you will look, please, at the minutes of our last meeting held on October the 9th. Did anyone see any additions, corrections that need to be made to those minutes? Okay, all right. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of our last meeting.
I'll second.
Ms. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris.
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Okay. The item, well, let me see. I don't think we have any old business unless somebody on the council has something. Okay. Under new business, we have considering approval of, got that? Okay, to surplus the red Ford Ranger seized by the police department. Do you want to speak to that, Chief, or?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This was a DUI seizure several months ago. Vehicle's been stored and found at Victor's Lot. It's now been awarded to us to sell as surplus. There will be some expense we're supposed to share back with the state. I believe that's going to be eaten up by our towing fee, our towing storage. So the money should go back to us, all of it, what we get out of it on auction.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Ms. Flatt?
Mayor Fowler.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Norris.
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey.
Yes.
Honorable Hill.
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 4, to consider approval to purchase an unmarked vehicle for the police department through the drug fund. I think, again, I don't know, Chief, do you want to speak to that, or Mr. Morrison?
Go ahead.
We were looking at, surprisingly, just how much travel we have to do outside of the city of Allgood for police business. I've had to send 2 officers to McMinnville to pick up a runaway that run off with a sex offender. A lot of times we have to send a mark patrol car outside the city. What I'm asking for is using drug fund money, not public money, to purchase a vehicle that we can utilize for meetings, training. As you can imagine, police cars carry sensitive equipment in them that are targets for thieves and be vandalized when they're outside of the area. What we'd like to do, with y'all's approval, is to buy a Durango, Dodge Durango. It'll be a police package vehicle. It will not be marked. It won't have a radio or anything in it. It's gonna be strictly used as an administrative vehicle. It'll also be available to the council, for development. If you have, business development, need to drive somebody around, it'll be there for that reason. But also, we've got some older cars in the fleet that are starting to catch us up on maintenance. And if we had to, if one of the cars went down permanently, we could actually roll this into our fleet and mark it up and be able to go with about 2 weeks. In July, y'all approved a police car purchase. As of last week, that car has not even been manufactured yet. So this will give us an option. We carry one spare car in the city police department, for breakdowns, wrecks, whatever might happen. And it's getting stretched right now. So if we did have a car that permanently went down, we could roll this into that roll and put it on the road hopefully in about 2 weeks. We would stripe it, put gear on it at that time. As y'all are aware, the drug fund money can only be used for certain things. This does meet the criteria. We looked at going with a used vehicle, and the difference between the used vehicle price and the new one was not that, about $7,000. We felt like we would be better served if we would also have a backup plan in case we did have something go on. And it does meet the state purchasing, and also we're utilizing the state contract price.
Well, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Would it not be as effective if they're going to training, why can't they use their POV, their personal vehicle, and then they charge mileage?
We looked at that. There was one class that we were trying to revamp the field training officer program. And this is the first one that comes to mind that you've asked. It was going to cost us about $600 just to pay for them to drive their car under the state mileage regulations. I think this vehicle will also give us a little bit more leeway. It's not going to be a surveillance vehicle, and I don't want it to be considered a surveillance vehicle. There's times we might need to be sitting in a neighborhood to watch something that my marked car wouldn't work. We could utilize this for that. It'll just blend into just normal vehicles.
Well, where are they going? That's going to be 600 miles.
That particular one was to the IPTM, which is in Jacksonville. That was the one particular class. We run 2 or 3 trips to the crime lab.
Mm-hmm.
We've got running evidence there, or picking up evidence.
But now that to me, that's official police business.
It is official business, and that way we're running by using an unmarked car. It's not a targeted vehicle. Once you leave the city in a marked police car, I'm really concerned about someone, like I said, either vandalizing or trying to run them off the road, whatever might be the case. The days of law enforcement being able to go where they needed to, I think, has changed, and this will give us a little bit more leeway.
Mayor, if they use a personally owned vehicle, also we need to look and see that our insurance would cover them driving their personally owned vehicle. Nobody's looked at that one I know of, so we need to investigate that also.
Well, I know whenever I have traveled on city business and had to take my own vehicle, that I just was reimbursed mileage.
Of course.
And so that's why I was asking. I don't know that financially it makes sense at this point to buy another vehicle, because we do have this fleet program, and we are trying to, I thought the program was to change them out every 2 years, or we were getting 2 every year. Maybe that's what it was.
We've got some 2014s in our fleet right now. They're starting to, it's getting to the point now where they're starting to dollar us to death. We're having a lot of front-end damage, or front-end, not damage. We're having a lot of front-end issues with it. It's costing us money to repair. What I'm concerned about is if we did have a vehicle that went down permanently, tree fall on it, catches fire, whatever might happen to it, it's totaled in an accident. We're right now looking at like I said, July, we ordered a police car, it hasn't even been built yet, and that was off the state contract. This will give us that extra cushion if we do need it, we'll have a vehicle available.
But we could get by with something that was a lot less expensive than a Dodge Durango.
We could, we've looked.
Why?
Also wanted something that we could utilize as a police car if we needed to, and we need to roll it into a police package. So I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone here. I'm trying to put us a vehicle on the street that we can utilize, but if we had that emergency where we've got to have a patrol car, we have something in stock that we can roll into a police car without having to wait 6 months to get a car.
Well, I guess that was my question, is car versus Durango. I guess I just wasn't clear about that.
Part of it was for, and one of the things that I thought about with my sense to the city would be if we went with the Durango, on state contract, they're only about $1,000 difference between the Dodge Charger. We're having problems with the Dodge Chargers. They're a cheaper car, cheaper price car, and after a while, we start paying for the maintenance on them. The Charger, if we went with it, if y'all were to use it here as far as economic development, if y'all need to show somebody around town, this vehicle will be available. I think it'll be a little more comfortable for you.
Well, you have a question, Luke?
I do have a question. So we have a fleet management plan,
Yes.
and the plan, as I understand it, is, you know, we decided on what the plan was gonna be, rotating in, putting new in, rotating out, and selling at certain intervals. So this is in addition to that plan, correct?
It is,
So we're kind of making an exception to an already pre-decided plan.
yes.
And so, if this is something we want to consider, I mean, I would love to see how many vehicles we have. I know I can't say I've digested the plan as much as I probably should have, or be as knowledgeable on that plan as I probably should be. But I think I would be more curious to see, do we need to modify the plan instead of making an exception there too? And how much are we talking about here? I mean, new Durango is how much?
25.
And educate me on the drug fund. You know, the other piece of this is these are drug monies, not just coming from the general fund. These are monies that you've seized
This is
and.
not taxpayers' money at all. This is money that's come in on drug fines, drug
there's-
seizures, that type of thing. Stuff we've sold through, we've sold off 4 motorcycles since I've
Yeah.
been here. That money went back to 3 of the motorcycles, that money went back to the drug fund because of the way they were obtained through the military.
And we got what's the Razor thing that we just bought? That was from drug fund.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
And I will get you a list of the vehicles. I thought I had it handy, but I don't. How many cars we have with mileage. We carry one spare car right now, is what we got. I'd like to think, Victor and his group, they're actually allowing us an area so we can secure cars down at the city garage now.
So the current spare that we have right now is what?
It's a pool vehicle that we use, and last week we had 3 cars in shops almost at the same time. We rotate them out. The 2014s are really starting to show their age to us. They idle 12 hours at a time, because to keep the radios and stuff like that and the computer stuff charged in them at the same time when they're on the road. So they've got a lot of idle time on it, but the biggest thing we're seeing right now is front end issues. And the 14s, next year when we start looking at the budget, we'd like to get rid of those, as many of those as I could. This right here is an opportunity, I believe, for us not to have taxpayers pay for something that we can use as an emergency if we have to. And this is a police performance vehicle. It's not just a, just not just a regular Durango that you go off and buy off the lot. So it will have the equipment that if we need to roll it into that role, we can.
Thank you.
Well, have we thought about spending any money on some remedial driving courses for some of our police officers? Maybe we wouldn't be having so much trouble with cars if we could keep them between the lines, so to speak.
The issues we're seeing with the cars right now, the majority of it is not driver error, Chrysler. The difference between buying a Chrysler and going to a Ford package, police package, is about $1,000 a unit. I'm sorry, 9,000, it's right at $10,000 per unit. If we increase it to the Ford, that's why we stayed with the Chrysler product, because it's cheaper. But after a while, they do start to wear out faster. To answer your question, Mayor, we have explored defensive driving for all the officers. And we're in the process of working on that, in addition to supervisor training that we're going through right now.
Great. I was looking at, I guess, the sheet that's provided for us to go and to tie this into needing vehicles. I was just looking at, I guess it's for this past month. I noticed you've got call type. It says traffic stop 100. Now,
Let me get to where you are.
okay.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Okay. It was my understanding that we had 14 officers, and that includes yourself. Is that correct? Okay. Well, I just did the simple math, and I took 100 traffic stops, divided that by 14, and that means that each potential officer is only making 7 stops a month. So,
Those traffic stops have gone up since I've been here. In the beginning, they were in the 30s.
well, if, you know, I'm looking at the other offenses listed as well, and, you know, I just don't see the traffic, I guess, that you're saying. I'm not saying that you're incorrect. I'm just saying, judging from the call types and what has gone on with the cars for the last month, you know, maybe it is a bad product, but it doesn't look like it's because of our use, because seven stops a month is troubling to me.
Okay, the cars aren't just used for traffic enforcement. We also are rolling on other calls, but we're also checking buildings at night. We're getting vacation watches. The cars run, when they're on duty, they're rolling pretty much the whole time. I don't want them sitting. So they're getting a lot of miles on the car just by just, as small as the city is, we're still putting miles on the car every night. It's not just a traffic stop. And luckily, we don't have that many pursuits here. So the car's not being pushed to its limit in that type of environment.
Anybody else have any questions? Any other discussion?
440 calls for service just for the month of October. You talk about the traffic stops or something that are just initiated by the officer. It's not something that's initiated by the public calling for assistance.
Right.
I don't know if I'm answering your thought process, your question there, but when you look at traffic stops, that's not just their main responsibility. Their responsibility is to patrol the city and protect the city and look for fires or whatever else. At night, I want them watching buildings and businesses and churches to make sure that they're not being burglarized.
Well, since you brought that up, correct me if I'm wrong. I have gotten information that we have 4 officers on duty, 2 stay in the office, and 2 on patrol. Is that correct?
No, ma'am, I don't know where you get your information from that.
Okay.
Normal shift for us is a sergeant and a patrol officer. We have 4 shifts per se. They work 12-hour shifts, and then we have a flex shift that covers in between during our higher call volume time. They should be on the road. That was something I pushed as soon as I got here. We need to be outside with the public. We don't need to be in the office, and that's what they're doing now. If you see them here at 6, during shift change, you will see several cars here as the old shift's coming off and the new shift's coming on. But that shouldn't be long. Now, we are right now trying to end up our required in-service training. And a lot of that is done by computer, so they are required to be here at the office. But no, ma'am, we don't leave somebody here at the office. They're on the road.
Okay, well, and maybe this is a discussion for another day, but we have had several citizen complaints about that there are not, it takes a long time to receive service, or when they call in, you know, obviously we don't handle our own radio calls. They go to the sheriff's department and then they're routed to us. And I think a lot of times citizens don't understand that it takes a while for it to get from the county to us for us to respond.
I really appreciate you bringing that up. It's something that we've had a problem since I've been here. I mean, it was going on before I got here. I cannot help from the time the citizen calls for assistance and goes to the dispatch office. What I can control is once dispatch notifies all the police department, tells them that we need to respond, we're there within usually about 2 minutes. I'm guessing on that time, but it's roughly 2 minutes. Yes, ma'am, there is an issue. I understand the frustration. I have talked with many citizens and people talk about. I've tried to get in touch with you. Well, by the time it gets to that, I can't control the sheriff's department dispatch, but I can control what happens once they dispatch our officers.
Okay.
If you don't mind me bringing it up right now, one other thing we're trying to do to make the police department a little bit more user-friendly for the community, we are going and instigating a new deal for reports. Surprisingly, to obtain a police report is cumbersome. We're going to an online program now where people can go online, request a report, and that process will be filled, so it's a one-time visit to the police department or for City Hall to pick it up instead of for 2 or 3. Normally, we try to get our reports out within a business day. That doesn't always happen because we're waiting on more information. Sometimes reports is lacking in certain things, and supervisor will pick back to be done. So we try to tell everybody about 5 to 7 days the report will be ready. If it's an emergency or whatever, we'll push it. It's something we're trying to get pushed out with our IT people. As soon as it's done, I'll be back in front of you. I'm hoping to have that up and running as far as in December. And I think it's something the community will appreciate because it'll be easier on them.
I have a hypothetical. What if we use the funds out of the drug fund and we buy this Durango, and then some other shiny toy comes along that we think we need? Is there, I don't know, is this going to deplete the balance? I guess that's what I'm saying.
No, it's not going to deplete it, and I wouldn't have asked for this originally, but we have been able to put some money back in the drug fund. I believe we're running about $78,000 or $79,000 in the drug fund right now. And as you know, we cannot just use that money for anything. It has to
Right.
be for a long purpose. The way that the law set up for it.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? All right.
No, I think that's it.
Oh, there's one thing I wanna ask. They've been, people calling me and asking why they have to, when they come in up here and ask for a policeman, they have to stand out there in the lobby and talk to the policeman in front of everybody that comes in. What would be wrong with taking them in a room?
I'm glad you brought that up. It's something we are trying to address, and we're probably going to start moving to a sergeant's position. I understand what the public's saying, and I've noticed that myself. A lot of times it's something simple, but if it's something that gets involved, I agree with you, and it's something we need to take care of. I would hate to take someone back to an interview room, but we can find something that's a little bit more comfortable. We have used even the break room downstairs and brought people in and talked to them.
Well, is there a motion or
I'll
not
make a
at this
motion.
point?
I'll make a motion, we go ahead and approve it.
Second.
Ms. Blatt?
Mayor Fowler,
No.
Vice Mayor Norris,
Yes.
Honorable Bilbrey,
Yes.
Honorable Hill,
Yes.
Honorable Hawkins.
No.
Okay, motion passes.
Can I by any chance add, I mean, I think it's within, I hope it's within our purview to, you know, this is an exception to the plan. I get that you say you need this, but I think it would be worth our time to revisit the plan, the fleet management plan, and if we need to amend it, you know, again, the whole concept of a fleet management plan is this is what we're gonna stick to, and so we just are making an exception there to it. You know, we wanna try to avoid exceptions, so I think we should maybe revisit it. I would love to see the plan and see what, you know, how this factors into it. You know, it's, I do get that this is from drug fund money, and that's kind of what kind of motivated me to say yes, go for it, because they're drug fund monies. But at the same time, we got to be good stewards of the dollar and make sure that you know, the plan that we stuck to when we voted on, you know, way back whenever we voted for it, is what we stick to, and we don't start just making it the norm to make exceptions.
One of the things that we had here when I first got here was we had a van that was seized, and that van has been surplus and sold, and that was kind of a spare vehicle for us that we could use when we needed an unmarked car. But it got to the point where we mechanically it just wasn't working. I was hoping we might just see something through the drug program that we could use, but we haven't. There's nothing been out there that we would want to put in the fleet. So I'm trying to offset some maintenance issues by let's just go with something that's got that's still in a warranty that we won't have to pay out of our maintenance account for, which we would probably have to. We wind up with a seizure.
Understood.
Okay, Mr. Morrison, are you ready to update us?
I am. The fire hall project is, the building's up. They're working on the interior plumbing and electrical's going in. They've ordered the garage doors, so they're working on the interior. They did pour concrete this week at the front and back entrance, and the ballers are in at the garage doors on each end of the building. The sewer project engineer is working to finalize easements. He's been talking to each of those property owners and working through some easement questions and concerns that they had, so we're working on getting those finalized and hope to have them signed in the next week or two. The Christmas parade is set for December the 7th at 6 p.m. The grand marshals are Brian Payne and Ross Williams, so we invite everybody out to that. Chief, did you have anything else? Director Jones, do you have anything to that? That's all I've got.
Okay. Now it's the portion of the meeting for hearing of citizens. If anyone has a question or if they'd like to say something, if you'll just come up to the podium and identify yourself, we'll be happy to try and answer it for you.
Roger Williams.
Yes, sir, Mr. Williams.
The car situation, you said you wanted to touch it. There might be some things you need to hit on or sort of the details to think about. It was, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it was every 4 years they would be surplused out. They were supposed to be going to be able to get $17,000 for the ones they were going to sell. I think the last ones we tried to sell was like 12,000 or something like that.
It's actually 16,000.
16.
Mhm.
Well, the numbers wasn't really hitting what we thought they were going to be, and I think we backed off 2 years or 1 year.
We did drop off 1 year where we didn't
Exactly.
purchase any cars, trying to extend a little more useful life out of them.
Yeah. So,
And this
but-
year we only put 2 back instead of
Yeah.
4, trying to cut back on.
That's what I'm saying. It's not been cut and dry, and they have flexed on it a little some. But you know, do we have to have a Durango when Cookville uses the little SUVs unmarked? They could take anything you wanted, you know. But it's government, it's drug money. You got to use it. So you know, if you're up to 80,000, there you are. You're not using money for people.
Use it or it sits there
But
and
you
just-
got flexible time, but this just staying with it, you gotta, if you don't need it, don't take it. And I don't know the maintenance money didn't go down that much when we were buying new ones every year, I think, but we were buying motorcycles and stuff like that too. So, but just think about it, because you don't want it to be, you want it to be flexible. That's the way I look at it. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Mr. Williams.
Linda Bilbrey,
Yes, ma'am.
and I live on Mirandy Road. Can I ask why we don't say prayer anymore before the meetings?
I don't know that was I don't know what you did before I was here, so
Okay.
I didn't
We
know.
always had the Pledge of Allegiance and then prayer,
Mhm.
I believe, right after. And I just wondered why we weren't doing it anymore.
I don't know that it was a conscious decision. Are you volunteering to lead us in prayer?
No, but I can volunteer
okay.
Mr. Matheny back here. And I think Keith, he's done that before.
have.
Mr. Morrison.
Yeah. I can't think of people's names. But I just wondered why, and
Okay.
I wanted to know. And
I don't know that there's any specific reason why.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right, all in favor? I just talked you out of that, Miss Platt.